Tell you about Peter Obi's 7-point agenda. 1, securing and uniting Nigeria. 2, effective legal and institutional reforms. 3, production-centered growth for food security. 4, leapfrogging Nigeria out of oil dependency to the 4th industrial revolution. 5, human capital development for effective competitiveness. 6, expanding physical infrastructure through market-driven reforms. 7, robust foreign policy that will restore Nigerians' strategic relevance in the international community. In all these things, they are the things he did and he had done as the governor of Anambra State. Recall, when he was in Anambra State, insecurity was so removed that the IG of police then, Mohammed, said within 5 years of Obi regime, no successful bank robbery took place. None. It's on record. The kidnapper, Evans, ran away from Anambra State. And he said Obi security tactic chased him away. Obi was the first person who started demolishing any home that is owned by kidnappers. And you know what? He said he is going to implement this thing through 3-level policing: federal, state, and community. He used the community vigilante. He was one of the governors that did it. Obi inherited, via Chiu, the first governor of Anambra State PDP. He was the only governor in PDP that was not returned because of his maladministration. So, Gige had a stopgap. And after that, Obi came in. So he inherited terrible Anambra State that was coming last in WAEC through human capital development. Within 2 years, Anambra State started coming first in WAEC. So can you imagine? We had APC that inherited foreign currency, and they are now coming last in the world. I said they have failed us 735% of the time. Then Obi inherited an educational system that was last and catapulted it to second, so first, within 2-3 years.
And I'd like to ask you this. So those who will question, because the capacity of Mr. Peter Obi, if you put him on the same pedestal with some of his opponents or some of his fellow contestants in the race, for example, look at least 3 or 4 of them have been former governors of their states. Robbie Musa Konkwo was a former governor of Kano State. Bola Tinubu, a former governor of Lagos State. Peter Obi, a former governor of Anambra State. Atiku Abubakar was elected but became a vice president eventually. So they talk about their profile, their track record when they were governors, and those who will say, oh, Peter Obi that you're talking about, under him, you talk about education system in Nigeria, under him there was a strike and unending for about 13 months or thereabout. These are question marks that have been raised about the capacity of Mr. Peter Obi, and to think that those who have argued also that, look, a state, governing a state, is a different kettle of fish entirely to handling a very complex Nigeria.
Very good. I am going to talk about this, just citing what other people have said. The spokesperson of APC came here and he told you, Peter Obi is better than Atiku. And the reason is because Peter Obi was in a position to take executive decisions, and Atiku has never been. So that's settled. When you talk about Tinubu, you just say former governor. He has not held any other post except former governor. Good. He was there for 8 years. Peter Obi was governor for 8 years. So when you talk about capacity, to be very respectful to these gentlemen, they are men of desperation. They are not men of destination. At 80 years, what can they offer? You cannot foist a disunited party on a disunited country to
collapse. For those who think that Peter Obi belonged to that same political class,
of,
he was a former PDP. Now he left I mean, how would you define Peter Obi?
Yeah.
If you say, would you say that Peter Obi is cut from a different cloth?
All right.
Because he was a former PDP member.
Okay.
Now, and you've criticized PDP.
Very good. I wish you were sitting here and I'm sitting here, and I'll ask you some very tough questions. When he was in PDP, did he, by any means, occupy any executive position for which he took any decision? None. I was in PDP, entered APC, and I'm in Labour. He was the governor of Anambra State, APGA. He entrenched APGA so much in Anambra State through good governance that even he himself could no longer uproot APGA. You can imagine that level of good governance. That Anambra State became sentimentally attached to APGA because of the foundation of governance that Peter Obi built.